Alright, hi people. This needs to be on. There we go. Hi people, we are here at, where is this place? There it is. CJ Sports Cards. We are here in lovely Vestavia Hills, just outside of Birmingham, Alabama. And here we have our Battle Roads Autumn 2011 deck. BossGod hammers. I guess if you've seen the 40-something minute vid we did where we did a playtest, you probably know what's in the deck. I did end up taking out one heavy ball, and I switched it for a super rod. I don't know if that'll hurt me or help me. It damages consistency a little bit, but it helps with recovery. So I don't know which one's going to be more important. I also sort of realized, which I guess I kind of knew this all along, that Darkrai Hydreigon, which is probably the most popular deck, maybe behind Eel variants, it's kind of an auto loss. But anyway, of course we have these old Evolution Spray and Super Rod, which for some reason the Steve P program has Devolution Spring, so I had to white it out and put Devolution Spray. Not that I think that's really going to matter. But anyway, I guess I don't really need to explain much about the deck if you watch the vid anyway. And I did bring... It's nearly impossible to see. I brought Jasmine Playboard, but she's not coming out again, because looks like it's a fairly, well, where is it? There we go. Focus is off. Looks like it's a fairly small store, so probably a bad idea. Have no idea how many people there's going to be. And I guess I'll just talk to you guys after tournament is over. Maybe. Or maybe I'll take it in. But I don't know, whatever. See you guys momentarily. Hopefully, my goal for today is to go 1 and X, win one game, maybe two. Last Battle Road I went 1 and 3, so maybe if we can win 2 games, that's a big plus. But I'm really just here for the play points, so whatever. All right, we're back, and tournament is over. We had 5 rounds actually. I think we had 25 players. We had 1 junior, 4 seniors, and 20 masters. That's about how it goes, eh? Here at, what's the place? CJ Sports Cards. No, that's bad. That's good. Okay. Anyway, that's also fine too. Anyway, so of course I didn't record any games. I was a little bit too into it. I didn't even take the camera inside actually. But since you guys seem to enjoy this, we will give you a rundown of how I did with Sableye and Aggron, the BossGod hammers deck. Alright, so round 1, I guess I'll just say first names. Round 1 versus Michael, he had a Darkrai Mewtwo with Zoroark Black-White. It was the foil, not the foil, the Crystal Shatter looking one from the promo blisters, pretty good. Anyway, so I started off with a Sableye. I got super lucky with Sableye starts today. Started off with a Sableye to a Zorua Ascension. I was like, oh crap, he's gonna Ascension Brutal Bash. This is gonna be quick death. He went first and went out to the Black-White Zoroark, which was really nice. That's the one that has Nasty Plot, and I figured, you know, that's probably all he's gonna be able to do. I mean, what's he gonna foul play on Sableye? I guess he can foul play a Junk Hunt, but I started out with a level ball and a hammer, so that's probably the best 2 items I could have in my opening hand. Being able to recycle level ball, I'm able to develop my board fairly quickly, and being able to recycle hammer, I'm able to sort of slow his development of energy. Meanwhile, he's nasty plotting while I'm doing all this. Apparently I missed some hammer flips. I think he draws into a Mewtwo and an Elgium, the Call for Family one. I don't know why he didn't have a Molga, or yeah, a Molga, but whatever. Darkrai gives stuff free retreat, so whatever. When he retreats to Elgium, yeah, at that point he doesn't have Darkrai, so he has to discard from Zoroark. Call for Families, I think he got out 2 Darkrai with Elgium. So at that point I just start landing some hammers on him and depriving him of energy. I had the Juniper away and Aggron and a Heavy Ball, which I'm able to get that Heavy Ball back with Junk Hunt, and I actually have an Aggron prized, so I've only got 1 Aggron left in the deck. Fortunately, I did throw in, I think I mentioned earlier, I did switch 1 card. I switched a Heavy Ball for a Super Rod, which was probably pretty good. But he just started sputtering, and eventually I get out 3 Lairon and 3 Sableye, all of which have a Dark Energy. Eventually he knocks out a Sableye with Mewtwo with consecutive, or not consecutive, but 2 X balls. But at that point I've got so many Devolution Sprays, and he just has nothing else Mewtwo just with a DCE, which is usually all it's going to get, because any extra energy tends to get hammered if you don't have any good energy acceleration. So I was just able to get that knocked out. By the way, I guess we can put up pictures on the side over here or something of cards I'm talking about. That might be a little bit more interesting than just looking at Sableye and Aggron all the time. I also like to mention that Kooper received a kiss from Jasmine this morning, because he was using steel types, so Jasmine was pleased. No, she did not go in. Also, as usual, everyone was complimentary of my old school playmat that I think you guys have probably seen several times. Round 2 versus Tommy. He had, I think he said this was his first battle road, maybe first tournament ever. So he started off with a Yamask, and quickly got on a Molga with a blend. I think I drew into it. I think I got Enhanced Hammer in my opening hand, so that went away pretty quick. And I actually started with 2 Sableye, which, wow, no Aggron starts, really? Once again, I had Level Ball, so I was able to get set up really quick. I probably need to run 4 Level Ball, because starting with Level Ball and Sableye is amazing for getting set up. I don't get Crushing Hammers for a while, though. And I do, however, get some Devolution Sprays going on by around turn 4, start milling out. He actually has a Mew EX, Darkrai. He eventually gets Kofagrigus. I think he had Skuntank too, which is a pretty decent card actually. It's not that bad. Not super meta, but you know it's decent. What 20 poison and Smoke Screen for 1 dark, not too bad. And he also had a Sigalip, but of course that's irrelevant because this deck doesn't have EXs. Yeah, so I start milling with Devolution Spray. He actually has to use Mew EX to copy Confuse Ray. That's about the only thing he's got to do. And it confuses about half the time. But each time I've got to switch. I just switch into another Sableye. I don't think any Sableyes took more than 30 damage all game. And then at the end I eventually get into my hammers and run him out of energy, despite him super rotting some in. So I'm able to take that one as well and move on to 2-0. And here's where it starts getting hard. This was probably the... I don't know if it was quite as heart-pounding as the game against Durant at States, but it was close. This was, again, I think his name was Jackson. I'm not 100% sure. He had Darkrai Hydreigon with the V-Create Victini tech, which you can imagine didn't make Aggron feel very welcome. So I didn't write down too much about this, but this was definitely a thrilling game. He had to, you know, because going in I said, okay, Darkrai Hydreigon, probably an auto loss, but he filled up his bench. He had to fill up his bench with an extra Dano in order to catch or KO an Aggron with V-Create. And so because he had to fill that bench, you know, if it had been Cinccino, like, you know, he could have done, if he could have done 80 times 2 for having 4 bench, you know, that would have been fine. But no, you have to have a full bench to use V-Create at all. And so he wasn't able to get Sableye in play, and I thought, you know, if he doesn't have Sableye access, he doesn't have Infinite Dark Patch, I got a chance at this. And then on top of that, Mr. Ranko wished me good luck last night, as well as my good luck kiss. And so I went like 7 of 7 on Crushing Hammers. It was ridiculous. And this is why I don't want to sound too complainy, but toward the end he was checking both discards and counting the cards left in his deck, which is perfectly fine to do, but he was kind of doing it every turn. And you know, it was time. I knew time was getting tight, and toward the end, I was like, "He's just gonna stall me out, isn't he?" And went on time. And unfortunately enough, that is indeed what happened. Time got called on his turn, I believe, which was absolutely perfect for him. So he finished his turn. I was turn 1. I did some milling. I got him down to like 5 cards coming into my next turn, which was turn 3. I actually did mess up my Junk Hunt though. I think I needed to get a Devolution Spray. No. Yeah, no, and I think I need to get 2 Devolution Sprays, and I got... No, I think I had the Juniper and Hope Pray. I got a Devolution Spray. I did. How did it exactly go? I don't know. Anyway, I messed up and Junk Hunted the wrong card, but it ended up being irrelevant because as soon as my turn ended, even though if I hadn't messed that Junk Hunt up, I think, he would have had no cards in his deck. His turn doesn't actually start, so he doesn't lose. So if he had ended his turn, you know, right before time was called, I probably could have won that game. But you know, I mean, I don't want to accuse him of actively doing that. He actually wound up to go on and take second, which was cool. But yeah, you know, it stung a little bit, but it was a great game. You know, like I said, I pretty much consider that matchup an auto loss, so to even get that close was really a fun game. Even though I feel like the time probably played a factor, and if the match had been allowed to play out fully without time, almost certainly I would have won, because he, I don't think, had any energy left. I just hammered away all of his dark patches and everything. You know, I suppose that kind of would have been lame too to win, because I hit 7 out of 7 on crushing hammers. But anyway, it wound up being a fantastic game anyway. So that puts me at 2-1, I believe. Yeah, 2-1 going into round 4. And I actually stay at the same table and get up paired to a 3-0, which probably fitting given that, you know, how close that game was. I don't think the tournament organizer software took that into account, but I'd like to pretend that it did. So anyway, let's see. Next deck is against Derek. I think it was Derek. And he had an Eel deck. It was just a Mewtwo, Raikou, Eels. I don't think he had any Rayquaza. Started off with double Sableye up against. You know, I suppose I can flip this too. I don't think it mattered too much, but it might prevent the wind, because I have to have the air conditioner on here. It's kind of freaking hot in this car. I got another double Sableye start, which is amazing, to his Mewtwo, and he gets 3 Eels out, I think, by like turn 4, which, setting up 4 Eels against this deck, kind of a bad idea. Setting up 1, okay, 2, maybe 3, that sort of prevents you from being able to Dynamo or 2 your Eels to keep them safe from catcher, and that wound up being a huge factor. Once again, I had Level Ball in the opening hand, I think, somehow, or at least I got it pretty quick. It seems like every game where I got to set up fairly quick, it was because I had Level Ball, so got set up fairly quick. He had a switch off to cancel my first catcher, and then a DCE to cancel my second, and he was running Raikou. Now, one of the things with Raikou in this deck, or against this deck, if you can Volt Bolt Aggron, I can't really devolve him anymore, because once that happens, when I devolve him, he just gets instantly knocked out, because the underlying Lairon only has 90 HP. But I got, you know, he made, I guess, the wrong choices. It wound up being, he knocked out a Sableye, which I had, I actually benched my Zorua. I was like, you know, I don't have an out to get another Sableye here. So I'll just put down this Zorua, who at least has a 1 retreat and can maybe do something. And sure enough, he actually did knock out that active Sableye with Volt Bolt. And so I pushed up Zorua. I think I was able to get I think I drew into a either a supporter out to a Level Ball, or just a straight up top deck to Level Ball. And I was able to get a Sableye out in the following turn. But had to attach, and actually flipped heads on Paralyzing Gaze. I think that was the turn where I did a bunch of stuff. I did like Enhanced Hammers. I think did he run Prism and Blend? I don't think so. I think he just had some Prisms. No, he had DCs, that's right. That was the previous guy who had Prisms and Blends, because he had to have it for Victini to move those around. Those both provide fire to Victini, of course. The Prism, of course, it's a little bit more difficult. You can't actually move that to Hydreigon safely anyway. And you guys have probably been staring at the steering wheel. Whatever, we'll just go back to this so I can keep it trained on the 2 dudes. Hopefully the wind's not like blowing. Let me turn the AC down a little bit. Maybe it won't blow quite as hard. Anyway. Let's see, so Zorua actually flipped heads on Paralyzing Gaze, so the one time I used him, he worked. But he, I think he was able to, at that point his deck was pretty low, but I think he Junipered anyway and was able to get into a switch, and actually bolted on Zorua, which I was really surprised at, but he did. So I think I pushed up, I just let me push up Sableye, and after that I had one more catcher for him, and at that point I think he was out of switch. He had to blow a DCE on Raikou to Volt Bolt, and that got Enhanced Hammered. And then just a couple more toppling wins for the game. So that moving on to 3-1 through 4 rounds, and you know, I figured, okay, so I got up paired and I won. That's really good. But then for some reason I get moved to the last table, and I'm like, what? And I have to do a double take to see who I'm playing. I get up paired to a 4-0 guy, but it's the only junior there. So I was like, what is this? Okay, I'm going to have to not lose now. I'm not going to be able to stand losing to a junior. No offense. He actually didn't have Garchomp Altaria, which is probably one of the best decks a junior can play. As far as, keeping it fairly simple for him anyway. But anyway, this was the only game where I had to start out with Aggron. And neither of us really did much setup until about turn 4. Throat. Cough right. Have better posture, Kooper. That'll help you speak. Until about turn 4. And he benched a shiny Rayquaza. I don't really know why, but he did, and I was like, 3 retreat cost, mills itself with its first attack. Catcher. Anyway, eventually I think I had a Juniper in my opening hand, but I also had a level ball and some other stuff, so I kind of waited around to use some resources instead of just burning them all with Juniper. I think I random receivered and got a Shirin, so I played that first. And then I finally Junipered about turn 4. Finally started getting into some stuff. Once again, my hammer streak continued. I hit like 12 to 13 hammers in a row, starting with that matchup versus Hydreigon. I just went on a hammer roll. Yum, yum, yum. So I just went on a hammer roll. It was crazy with my crushing hammers in this tournament. And he had a switch for the first time. I captured out the Ray, but not for the second one. And once he got captured out a second time, Garchomp Altaria doesn't tend to run too many switch. And I think I was able to toppling wind 1 or 2 away. So he just got Ray stuck up there. Even if he had the blend, which he would have had to have a blend in order to attack, even if he had the blend, Dragon Pulse? Yeah, Dragon Pulse mills himself, so that would have been bad anyway. And then, so Aggron was just able to topple out his deck. And so I actually wound up being 4-1 after going 1-3 in my previous Battle Roads with Zekrom Eelektrik. I do feel pretty fortunate, though. I did not get paired against Darkrai Hydreigon but one time, and even that was super close because he had to make that play with Victini. So yeah, that's how the tournament went, and everyone was always really interested in my matches. I'm pretty sure I was the only one there with Sableye Aggron, and everyone either hadn't seen much of it or hadn't seen it played or just hadn't heard of it at all. But I think I probably had the favorite deck of the everyone in there was pretty interested in my deck, so that made me feel pretty good. And how did I end up doing, Kooper? How did you end up doing? Well, we ended up getting the Darkrai Hydreigon guy got second place, which helped me out on resistance, and with a record of 4-1. Macro one. Third place victory cup with Sableye Aggron. So I was really happy to get this thing. It's kind of about the only real reason I came. I guess I got a lot of championship points too, or at least a decent amount. Probably like what was it, like 10, almost 10. I think first place is 15, second is 12, third is 10 maybe. So I got third place, got my victory cup, got my over-glorified Pokeball. Those of you who don't know what it does, it's Pokeball. But I guess I can throw this into if I do end up making Durant Garbodor, because I, for whatever reason, like to run Pokeball over Ultra Ball on that. So that was really awesome. I got this one. It's just got the Victini. Second place has the starters, and the first place has Zekrom and Reshiram too. So it's the first time they've done. No, I don't think so. I think they had. I think last year's Autumn Battle Roads had Victory Cup as well. Not as good as Victory Medal, obviously, but quite pleased to get my prize for that. And we also got 2 Dragons Exalted packs, and since some of you like to see those get opened, I figured I would hold off and we'll open them right here on the spot. So open them up. I think these tins were actually originally used to carry some cards. How are we gonna mount this thing in here? That should work. Stick it in the fanny pack. I actually got double Giratina packs, which is cool because Giratina Origin Form is actually my favorite legendary, so that was pretty good. And supposedly these should have some pretty decent packs because everyone else apparently got nothing except a Terra EX Full Art, so I don't know what I'm really hoping for. I'm just waiting on Boundaries Crossed, to be honest. But we'll go ahead and open them up. Why not? Let's get some code cards, if nothing else, right? Alright, we got a... Can we angle this a little bit better? There, we got a... That's going to be terrible lighting. Maybe if I do it this way. We got Bidoof, Murkrow, Golett. Oh, I just noticed there's one like curled up in a ball. That's pretty funny. Weasel, Drifloon, Reverse Mareep, Magmortar, Moldor, Bibarel. Only appropriate I get a Devolution Spray. I played way too many Devolution Sprays today. And Mareep, that makes Jasmine happy too, because it evolves in the Ampy. And pack number 2. So that was kind of a bad rare, but only appropriate that I get the Devolution Spray. Oh, please open this pack without tearing it. Sort of. I do that sometimes. Open packs. Well, these packs are such horrible quality. Oh, there we go. Another Mareep. Let's see. Got code card. Ninkata. And Sheen. Oh, do it sideways. Another Golett. Eelektrik. Reverse Roserade. And Golurk. Not so bad. At least it's holographic, right? Audino. Durant. And a Blend. Nice. I'll be able to put that in my still way too proxy Garchomp Altaria. So that's not so bad. Not so bad. That Roserade. No, that's the uncommon one. Okay. I wasn't sure if they were both uncommon or what. But yeah, only appropriate that I got a Devolution Spray. Yeah, I got to rock the old school Devolution Sprays. Did I get to show those? I think I did. But anyway, so that's gonna do it for this tournament, this video. Durant, or not Durant, no, it's Sableye and Aggron did very well. I know some of the people here are going to be going to the one next weekend in Huntsville as well. I guess we'll do something similar, excuse me, for that. May or may not bring playboard to to that one, because I'm going to have to go a little bit further away than I did for this one. But I'm going to go ahead and get back to campus before the game day traffic gets too nuts. Thanks for watching. Third place. Where's the little thing? I'm going to show it off again. There we go. Victory Cup. Yes. Success. Success. Alright, I'll catch you guys later. Thanks for watching, and... Alright, you guys wouldn't let me off without doing more of this, eh? So not later days. Why am I suddenly hoarse as soon as I turn the camera on? This is a thing we like to call Abalama Saturdays. There are many people on the interstate because they are trying to get to Tuscaloosa, Abalama to watch sacrificial lamb be slaughtered or something like that. Anyway, so I guess some closing comments that I didn't get to say. I didn't really feel like I made, outside the one I mentioned with jump cutting for the wrong thing on that game I lost, I don't think I really made that many misplays all day. There was one that really stuck out where I level balled for a Lairon before I played Chirin, and sure enough, I Chirin'd into a Lairon, so I could have used that level ball on an Aeron. Outside that, the jump cut though, I pretty much played well. I guess I won enough that I can claim I win. I played pretty flawlessly all day. You know, with jump hunt, knowing to get back the right stuff, in my opinion, gives the deck a lot more strategy and makes it way more difficult to play than a Durant deck. I actually had one guy come up to me at the end and ask to look through my deck and see what my list was and whatnot. Which way is better? That way, I guess. He said he was going to try to have his daughter play it because probably a junior, I mean, you saw in the last round, just couldn't handle it. You know, so yeah, it probably would wreck up the junior division, but you know, I guess third place at the Battle Road is nothing to really hang your hat on, but I did it with Sableye and Aggron, you know, two of my favorite Pokemon. I'm not really going to call it a rogue deck since, you know, it's established, it's just established that it's not that good, so it's not, wouldn't be considered rogue actually, but you know, getting third place with a tier 2, tier 3 deck, pretty good. So that gives me jollies that I was able to get third place with a Bad Deck Monday deck of the top cut. I also picked up, you guys see some of those. I picked up a couple of card sleeves because you guys have probably seen the one of the holographic ones I have in the Hydreigon deck are falling apart. So I picked up you ordinarily I used to say get all the same color because they come in packs of 100, and you know that way you have some sort of left over. But since they have like slight millimeter, like no, not even a millimeter, like a micrometer variation in width actually, I decided to screw it. I'm just gonna get different colored ones. That way, you know, decks can be different colors. And I actually got some of this different pack here. Super card barrier. It's like pretty high quality, like Japanese sleeves, I guess. It's got Japanese written on it anyway. They were more, and there was actually less of them, but supposedly they'll be higher quality. So it was a little bit different shade of blue than I have right now. So I figured I'll give them a try, see if they're any good. Ultra Pros I've found nothing wrong with Ultra Pros, to be honest. They're pretty cheap, but man, they're good enough for me, honestly. They shuffle just fine. Anyway, yeah, so I mentioned that about the Lairon. Anything else? Nope, I think that pretty much covers it. But I know you guys. Oh, I guess we can. Those of you who watched the Emerald Nuzlocke Roulette, I mentioned something about. I wasn't gonna say it here. I might say it while we're doing one of these. What was that about? Oh, it was about the Raichu Pokedex entry. It was the sex ed teacher in like 6th grade. I didn't actually have her for that session, or like she came in as a substitute teacher for one of my friend's classes, and told all like for some reason there were no girls in the class that day, and she told all the boys to go out, play football, and release blank. I never actually found out what blank was, but I assume it's like testosterone energy or something. I guess. When you go out and hit people in football, I guess that makes you feel strong and manly. I don't know. That's what that was about for those of you who watched that and were wondering. So that has been it. You're way too close to this truck. That is kind of scary what's going on. What? What's going on? Oh, Lord. Nope, not today, penguins, not today. I also remembered, I gotta say, I got like Arceusly hands all day. Every time I got end, you know, I got Junk Hunt and then end, you know, a couple times, which is probably the most devastating play against that deck, is to, you know, end the stuff back in the deck that I just Junk Hunted. You know, that only actually happened like maybe 2 or 3 times, to be honest. And like every time, like pretty much all, with the exception of the last round, which was lulls anyway. Pretty much all of my opening hands, you know, I got a Sableye start. If I got a Sableye start and either a hammer or a level ball, I'm pretty happy. And I usually had one or the other or both. And then every time I got end or, you know, drew something with Juniper, I gotta say I don't think I had an outright bad, terrible hand all game. You know, some better than others, and I'm sandwiched between 2 18-wheelers. That's kind of scary. You know, I gotta say I drew well all day. I definitely rolled well on my crushing hammers. Went on that 12-13 streak at the end. That was nuts. I didn't even need most of them, but I did anyway. So that will officially end it for this. And that will be it for this video. So let it go back. Crap. I'm turning penguinies. I think I'm turning penguinies. 10 little penguins sitting in a row. Eeny, meeny, miny, and mo. Finn and Flam with their big hats on. Patrick, Roger, Timmy, and brave little Tom. Then the tiger came along. Now Kitty and me have gone. Where's this now? I don't know. 4 little penguins sitting in a row. Now there's only Mighty and Mo. Finn and Flam with their big hats on. Patrick, Roger, Timmy, and brave little... Oh, I can't need to do that voice better. What's going on? Why am I singing penguins? I don't know. Penguins, please go away. Please go away. Later days, penguins, later days.